morning. This is Mrs. Trueblood, and it's time for Sunday school. I am so excited to be with you today. It seems like it's been forever. Here we are. We just had Christmas, and now we're already into Lent. And you know, the best thing about Lent, it's the season of purple. And so, of course, I had to wear my purple dress for Lent. I am going to tell you a very special story today. And, oh, it comes in this box. I know you've heard a couple stories that came in a box like this, so this just might be a parable. Because you know, a parable is a story that Jesus gave us. And so it's something that's very special, which is why it's gold, because it's precious. And it kind of looks like a present. But it's a present that's already been given to us, and we can enjoy it any time. So, do you think I should look in and see what's in here? Let's see. Oh. I know what story this is. It has to do with this picture. Now, when I was little, I lived in Michigan, and in Michigan, we had in the summer, we had a beautiful rose garden, and we had a gorgeous lilac tree. Maybe that's why I like purple so much. And we grew tomatoes and cucumbers, and that was just awesome. And sometimes when I was really little, I would want to help my parents with the garden, and so I would take my little watering can and I would water the flowers of the tomatoes. Well, I used to water all the petals because I thought that's how the flower grew. I thought, oh, that's the pretty part, so that must be the most important part. And it wasn't until I got a little older and I noticed that my dad would always water down here. He would water down at the ground. And that's when I understood, oh, it wasn't really this part that it was important to water, it's this part because of all of these, the roots down here, because that's how the flower grows. And so that is kind of what our story is about today. This is the parable of the sower. Now, it's not a sower like someone who takes a needle and thread and sews. It's a sower. It's a person who sows seeds, who plants seeds. And I think, we even have some seeds in this box. But they are really teeny, like you can't even see this seed. It is so tiny, but could you hear it? There was a seed in there. So let's talk about our story. Well, like all stories, we could start with once upon a time. There was a man who said such amazing things and did such amazing things that people began to follow him. And this man was always talking about a kingdom like they had never seen. They'd never lived in a kingdom like the one he was describing, but they were really interested in it. So one day someone asked him, so what is the kingdom of heaven like? And he said, well, I'm going to tell you this story. It's like the sower. He said, once upon a time there was a sower, and he took some seeds and he dropped them on the ground. But the ground was really hard. And you know what happened when he dropped them? They just sat there. They just sat on the top of the ground until some crows came along and gobbled them up. Ate them all. So obviously nothing was able to grow. Then he took the seeds and again he put them on the ground, but this time the ground had rocks. So when he put them down on the ground, well, some of them got through the rocks and little plants started to grow. But you know what? The sun came out and the sun beat down on those little tiny plants. And because they were in rocks and they couldn't really get a lot of water from the ground, they withered up and they died. Then he threw some seeds again, and this time he threw them on some places where there were some thorns, some thorny bushes. Now, the thorny bushes were really, really strong. They were very hardy. And so they had really big roots down under the ground. And so what happened to the little tiny seeds that he planted? Well, they got underneath there and their roots did everything they could to try to grow. But the thorny bushes, their roots were just too strong and they kind of strangled them. So they couldn't get anything to drink or to eat. And so they died too. But finally, the sower took his seeds and he put them on the good earth. It was nice, wonderful soil. And do you know what happened? Well, those seeds were able to go down into the soil and they were able to sprout roots. And in those roots, they were able to get all the water that they needed and the nutrients that they needed from the soil. And the flowers started to grow. Isn't that awesome? That's what happens when you plant seeds in good soil. Good things happen. So now let's think about this. What do you think Jesus was trying to tell us? Well, I mean, he could have been trying to tell us that if we're going to plant seeds, we need to plant them in good soil. And I'm sure he would want us to know that because he likes when we're able to grow flowers and vegetables and fruits and things. But a parable generally means something a little more. I wonder who the seeds could be. I know. Maybe the seeds are people. The seeds might be people. And what are we trying to grow? Maybe we're trying to grow in our faith, in our goodness, in the kingdom of heaven. So let's see if that's true. Who do you think the cement was? Where the soil was just hard, the really hard soil where nothing could even go through. What do you think that could be? Who could that be? I'm thinking maybe it's one of those people who doesn't believe in God at all. I know, it's amazing to think that there are people who can look at the sunset and look at an ocean and look at flowers and look at babies and puppies and kittens and think that there isn't a God, but there are some of those people. And those people are so hard inside that no matter what you tell them, it doesn't get through. Okay, how about the rocky soil where, a little bit of the seed got through and it started to grow a little bit and then the sun came down and who could the people that are the rocky soil be? I'm thinking maybe it's those people that go, well, okay, all right, if you keep telling me there's a God, then I'm going to pray tonight that something really good is going to happen to me tomorrow. And so they have this little root of faith, this little bit that maybe there is a God. But if the good thing that they prayed for doesn't happen that next day, they go, oh, nope, that's it. They're, just like I thought, there isn't a God. Now, of course, you and I know that that is not how God works. It isn't just if you pray for something one night, it's going to happen the next night. God has a much bigger vision, and he has a whole eternity to plan things and to do things. So we know that that is not how it works. And what about the one where it was had the thorns, where it was in the with the bushes that had all the thorns and it kind of got choked? Who would those people be? Let me think. Maybe those are the people that think, well, okay, I think there probably is a God, and they believe that, until something bad happens. And then when something bad happens, they go, oh, well, something bad happened, so now I'm not going to believe anymore, because if there were a God, nothing bad would ever happen. Well, that isn't how God works either. He doesn't say to us, oh, if you believe in me, you'll never have anything bad ever happen to you. I mean, my goodness, look at the things that happened to Jesus. Bad things happened to Jesus, and Jesus is his son. So that's not what he promises us. What he promises us is that he'll be with us. So even if something bad happens, he is by our side always. So that just leaves us with one kind of person. Who's the person that's the good soil? Who's the person in whom God's love can flourish and grow? Well, I think those are the people of God. Those are the people who believe in God and do the things that God asks us to do, who love other people, who take care of the planet, who take care of their family, who take care of themselves, and who love him. So, I have one last question. What kind of soil are you? Are you the hard ground? Are you the rocky soil? Are you the soil that has all of the thorns? Or are you the good soil? I think I know what kind of soil you are. But I want you to think about it. What kind of soil are you? I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And I get to be with you next week, so I can't wait to see you then. Bye.